Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back once again. It's me, Molt. Super stoked to be here with you guys. Today's gonna be a real short video, so just hang in there. Let's watch it, and hopefully we can have a little bit of conversation down in the comments below. So, I don't know if any of you guys know what Radio Royale is, but it's actually really cool. It's something that the Clash Royale team does. They do Radio Royale, where they just kind of talk about stuff. And a new episode was released today on the 15th of April, if you're watching this, that talks about the Royal Giant as well as the Elite Barbarians. And right now in the game, Royal Giant Elite Barbs are extremely strong. The people that use it would most likely agree, and then there are probably some people that don't agree, but whatever. The majority of people agree that Royal Giant Elite Barbs are very, very strong. So we've been asking for a nerf of these for a while now. For me, I personally think that the Royal Giant gets off 1 to 2 too many shots. There's so many times where he has absolutely no health and he's still getting off 1 to 2 shots, and you're like, what's going on? So for me, I thought that an attack speed nerf would be good, or maybe even a health nerf. Not too drastic. The old me that used to get really upset about the Royal Giant just wanted it deleted. But at this point, like, it's never been a problem of beating the Royal Giant. I just think that it's an obnoxious card, and I know that there are going to be cards like that in games, and everybody finds some things annoying. Everybody finds some things not annoying. So for me, logically, I thought that it should get an attack speed nerf, or maybe a little bit of a health nerf, and I know a lot of you guys would agree with that as well. But why don't y'all comment down below? In just a second, we'll talk about this, but the incoming nerf to the, and you'll see why I put it in quotations, the incoming nerf to the Royal Giant is this. Its deploy time is now going to 2 seconds, okay? So it's going to do just as much damage, it's going to have just as much range, it's going to have just as much health. The only point that I see that helping is once the tower is already down. Because whenever your enemy already has a tower down on you and they can just put it in that little pocket, it immediately starts shooting your tower, and you're like, what? I didn't even have time to put my defense down. So now you have time to put your defense down once you've already lost a tower. Obviously, the goal is not to lose a tower at all, and if you can protect that from happening, then you're good. Now, here's the thing. And they even said this in the Radio Royale. There's going to be a link in the description if you guys want to go listen to it. It's actually really entertaining. They're a funny group of guys, and they clearly have a blast talking about the game that they absolutely love. So he says that it's even going to be a slight buff, or it might be a slight buff to the Royal Giant when deployed behind the King Tower. And here's the reason for that, guys. With that extra second of deploy time, that's going to be extra elixir for your opponent. So they're going to be able to drop off their Royal Giant. They're going to have 1 more elixir by the time they get to the line than they would have otherwise, thus allowing them to, say, play Elite Barbs over Barbarians, or play another 6 elixir card over 5 elixir card, whatever it may be. So in that sense, it's going to make him a lot stronger. And I do see people do that sometimes, not as much. Most of the time it's right on the line, and that's when you're like, oh, come on. Because he's almost immediately shooting your tower. You got to get your defense down ASAP, otherwise you're done. So this is going to be interesting. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you think it's a nerf, or if you think it's a buff, or if you think it's really not going to change anything. And why don't y'all comment what you think logically would be a good change? Because again, for me, I would just say, make his range half of what it is. And it would completely kill the card. And they talk about that in the episode, which is cool, how they never want to kill a card. You never want a card to not be viable. You want its use rate to not be very high, but you want its win rate to be high. They talk about that with the Expo, how not too many people use it, but if you're good at it, you should win with it. And that's the whole point of those kind of secret, spicy cards, as they call them. They're kind of hidden, and they just do well if you know how to play them. Obviously, if they put a card in the game, guys, they think that it's good enough for the millions of people that play it. They've made an amazing game, and I trust their opinion on whether they think it's good. Now, obviously, they don't know how it's going to interact with things in the game once people start playing with it, and metas, and etc., etc. So logically and calmly down below, comment what you think would be a good nerf for the Royal Giant. Do you think this is a good nerf? Do you think they should have done something else? Next, the Elite Barbarians. Their hit points are now decreased by 4%. So I'm not sure exactly what those numbers are. They talk about it within the thing. But so that's good. They're not going to stay alive as long. It's the same type of thing where I feel like the Royal Giant always gets off one too many shots. Same with the Elite Barbs. They're almost dead and you're like, what? He's going to hit again? And they completely destroy your tower. And then their first attack, so the first time that they swing, is 0.1 seconds slower. Now, I know that doesn't sound like that much, and I know that when you see those kinds of numbers, you're like, that's absolutely nothing. But in relation to other things within the game, that first attack, you can maybe get something in front of them before they hit your tower again, etc., etc. So, I think that'll be good. They're still going to be strong. You have to know how to counter them. Like, the whole thing about all of this is having to know how to counter things and still win, or how to push the other lane and still win. Like, beating Royal Giants isn't a problem for me. Do I lose to them? Yes. I lose to every kind of deck. But it doesn't mean that all of that really means is that the other person probably doesn't know how to play it effectively. Because if someone plays a Royal Giant effectively, it's got a very, very high win rate right now, as well as if they have the Elite Barbs in. So all you have to do is learn how to counter stuff, which is the fun part about the game, but also the extremely frustrating and stressful part of the game. But go watch the episode, guys. It's hilarious. Again, there's a link in the description down below. I've just had some random gameplay playing next to me this whole time. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. We shall see what else comes. This is all that they really talked about in the episode. So there should be some balance changes very soon. So we shall see what happens there. But again, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. See you in the next episode. All right, peace.